Today, we're diving into some really big ideas from Doug Corbett's book, Seeds of Freedom. And it's all built around this pretty radical idea. What if the freedom you're constantly working for isn't something you have to earn, but something you just have to remember?
So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You feel like you're just spinning your wheels. You're putting in all the work, you're doing all the right things, but you're not really going anywhere. It's this feeling of being spiritually stuck. And trust me, it's way more common than you'd think.
And this is where the book just flips the whole script. What if the answer isn't to grind harder? What if real, deep freedom isn't something you achieve, but something you just remember? It seems like a small tweak in wording, but believe me, it's a massive shift in how you see everything. To really get this, the book uses this amazing metaphor, the choked seed. Just imagine that inside of you, there's the seed of your true, incredible potential, but it's being smothered, choked out by the weeds of your own constant effort and striving. That's the feeling we're digging into. This quote from the author really nails what he calls religious bondage. Now, this isn't just about organized religion. It's about any system where we get trapped in this endless cycle of performing, feeling guilty, and being afraid. Always trying to earn approval or a sense of worth, that, the book argues, was ours to begin with.
So why do so many of us get stuck in this loop? Well, the book says it's not really our fault. We're running on subconscious software that got installed a long time ago, and he calls this software the program.
So think of the program as the operating system running in the background of your mind. It's this collection of beliefs we soaked up as kids way before we could even question them. And get this, the book says this programming quietly drives a whopping 95% of our thoughts, our actions, and our decisions every single day. And this program gets locked in through 4 main stages. First is absorption. From birth to around age 7, our brains are basically sponges, just soaking up beliefs from everyone around us, no questions asked. Then comes reinforcement, where our culture, our schools, and our friends all confirm, yep, this is just how the world is. After a while, it becomes self-reinforcing. We repeat these ideas to ourselves over and over until they become superhighways in our brain. And finally, they crystallize into our identity. They're not just thoughts anymore, they feel like just who I am. Now, what makes the program so tricky is a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. The easiest way to think of it is like a bouncer for your mind. It only lets in information that already agrees with your beliefs. You know how when you decide you want to buy a specific car, and then suddenly you see that car everywhere? The cars were always there. Your RAS just started pointing them out to you. It's a filter that makes what you believe feel like the absolute truth.
Okay, so if we're running on this old subconscious program, how on earth do we rewrite the code? The book gives us a first tool that is so simple, but so incredibly powerful: gratitude. And we're not just talking about feeling thankful. We're talking about actively tilling the soil of your mind.
And this is where it gets really practical. Gratitude is the key that literally lets you reprogram your own RAS. See, when you consciously and deliberately focus on what you're thankful for, you are training that mental bouncer to start looking for evidence of good things, of abundance, of opportunities, instead of scanning for problems and what's missing. I absolutely love this quote because it's so honest. Gratitude isn't some magic wand. It's a tool. It works by changing your internal world first. Your mind, your beliefs, your perception. And when you change your inner world, your experience of the outer world has no choice but to change with it. Okay, so we've used gratitude to till the soil and make it fertile. So what's next? Well, now it's time to plant some new seeds. We're talking about seeds of a new identity, a new way of thinking about rest, and a totally new experience of what it means to be in the flow. The book really breaks this down by contrasting 2 different operating systems we can run on: the ego and the spirit. Our ego is all about survival. It's rooted in fear and control. It's always worried about the past or the future, and its main strategy is to strive, push, and protect. The spirit, on the other hand, is rooted in love and trust. It lives right here in the present moment, and it knows that true power doesn't come from striving, but from rest. To make this crystal clear, there's a great story in the book about a woman named Olivia. She is absolutely terrified of flying. As she's standing at the gate, her ego is just screaming at her. Don't do it. Turn back. It's not safe. It's trying to protect her, but it's doing it by keeping her small and trapped in fear. But then, underneath all that noise, She hears another voice, a much quieter one, her spirit, and it just whispers, "Go anyway." By choosing to trust that quiet whisper over her ego's panicked screams, she gets on the plane. And she discovers that she's okay, that she's being supported, she's being carried. The book calls this a faith fall. It's this powerful act of rest that's actually an act of deep trust.
So, when you start to operate from this place of trust, this place of rest, something really amazing starts to happen. You begin to see what the book calls the breadcrumb trail. This is the harvest. This is the amazing result of all that inner work.
And this breadcrumb trail is basically made up of synchronicities. You know those moments, right? Those what are the odds coincidences that feel like so much more than just a coincidence. The book calls this the language of the spirit, these little signs from the universe that you're on the right track. And this trail shows up in very real, tangible ways. You know, maybe it's a conversation with a friend that gives you the exact answer you've been looking for, or an unexpected opportunity just falls into your lap. Sometimes it's even a frustrating delay that leads you to meet a person who changes everything. It's a huge shift from feeling like life is happening to you to having this deep inner knowing that life is actually happening for you.
And here's the beautiful takeaway about all this. Following this trail, it's not about finding a shortcut. It's about finding the right way. It's about letting go of the need to control the outcome and just trusting the process, knowing that you're being guided exactly where you need to go.
And all of this brings us to the final, most powerful question that this entire book is built on. I want you to just really sit with this for a second. What if? What if you are already who you've been trying so hard to become? What if all that striving and all that effort was completely unnecessary because you're already there?